This May for a holiday we've come to a little place called Carn, which is on the Roseland peninsula of Cornwall. And if I flip the camera around, you can see the view from our kitchen. It's not bad, is it? So we come back through the kitchen into the living room, out onto the veranda where the lady of the house is reading. Not a bad view, is it? And Benny is resting. And it's a fabulous garden. I'll take you a quick walk around. It's a sort of semi-wild garden. So we come down over here, looking down over Varian Bay, I think this is. Looking down onto Carn and Pendower Beach. We come around. It really is a magnificent garden, sort of semi-wild, lots of little hidden places. Rhododendrons out, some azaleas. And we're staying in like a chalet, all on its own. Nowhere for quite a way around. Coming up through to the other side of the house, or chalet. Looking around. All in all, it's pretty good. Sunday morning, we've just had breakfast. This is our area for the morning because the sun catches this area and it is so beautiful, isn't it? It's not a bad view, is it, when you're having your breakfast? You're saying you could spend a week here and not move away from the house, couldn't you?
Definitely. As long as it wasn't raining.
Yeah, as long as it wasn't raining. We've come to the Lost Gardens of Helligan, which we both love. Benny's very excited. He raced down here because they're his favourites. Pigs. Sherpa's just trying to work out where we are and where we're trying to get to. But just beyond her, what a fabulous tree. I think we need to go up that one.
The bees on it.
If my dad was still alive and here, he'd spend hours in this, the vegetable garden, and no doubt he'd be telling Halligan gardeners how they should be doing it.
I wish I had the time.
Nice rows of potatoes, just as Dad would have done them.
That lovely rhubarb.
It's been another wonderful visit to Halligan. George and I love it here, and I could come week after week. Right, well, we've come from St Anthony's Head, and we've got to now head inland, do a bit of road walking, and then we pick up the coastal path a little later. We're now waiting for the Place ferry to take us over to St Mawes. This is the Place ferry arriving. And there's actually a bride going to get on this boat. That's going across to the Place house that we saw earlier on. Where are you going to now? Across to...
We're just going out for 4 hours sort of
Very nice too. Okay, have a super time.
Alright. Do you want me to grab stuff?
We're just going to get the ferry back to place, and Benny's gone in for a paddle, which means he's soaking wet. Which means he's sitting on George's lap. Where are the wedding couple going? They're surely not just staying out there. We're at the historic church of St Anthony's, which is a beautiful little church. So peaceful here. In the distance is St Anthony's Lighthouse. Quite nice to have a little yacht come in and anchor. This is going to be a killer in a minute. We've got to go down, cross a little bridge, and then up and up and up and up all those steps. It's a killer. This stinky little dog has gone into the water and he's covered in mud. Look at you, dirty, dirty little dog. Dirty little dog.
Poor Benny. Poor Benny. Come here. Payback time. Was it worth it, Ben? Was it really worth it? No. Bath Mark 2.
Yeah, he's going to have to 3 or 4, I think. I think I'll have to shower him afterwards. Because there's little bits stuck in there. Leg. This is my very expensive shampoo. We've come along to Chapel Porth Beach, and we're going to walk along the coastal path till we get to one of the mines used in the Poldark series. There's this shaft lower down and the mine higher ups. For those who have watched Poldark, it may be familiar. The colour of the sea is sort of a turquoise blue, beautiful. So that's looking down on the shaft of the mine, and then you come back up to the actual mine itself. This here, I'm not really sure what it is, whether it was one of the mine workers' cottages around. So this would be the type of mine used during Poldark's time. And there's Mrs. Poldark. Mrs. Poldark here is waiting for Mr. Poldark to come riding along.
My dreams.
Thank you. There's lots of little paths crisscrossing the moors up on top of the cliffs. We just got to hope we've taken the right one. Hey, Mrs. Poldark. Otherwise we could be here for some time. It's a beautiful day. It's so hot up here. We've sat down for a rest. Mrs. Poldark. For another quarter of a mile back to Chapel Porth. This is a shaft that would have been dug to let air into the main mine shaft. And we found our way back to Chapel Porth, albeit by a slightly roundabout route. It's a very, very steep, slippery road or path back down to Chapel Porth. Right, Mrs. P? We've come along about 20-25 miles to Bedruthen Steps. The last time we were here, we were down on the beach beyond the first big rock, and the tide comes in very fast. We nearly got cut off. It was sort of over our knees by the time we got back. But we've driven all this way. The tide's coming in, so we don't think it's even worth going down onto the beach this time. There's some people on those rocks, and I think they're cut off. Guess what? Mrs. Poldark's got her cream tea. Freshly made. Finishing off a lovely day with a meal outside. Right, Mrs. P? And then finish off the evening with a drink sat on the bench overlooking the sea. It's another glorious day, and we're having breakfast on our front lawn today. What are you eating, Ben? Georgia and Benny out enjoying the views, while I have to do the washing up. Today we're at the picturesque fishing port of Mevagissey. This is the outer harbour at Mevagissey. We've just started going up the coastal path, looking down on Mevagissey. Now come down to Porthcurnock Beach. Porthcurnock. He's called Benny. We're queuing and waiting to catch the King Harry ferry across to Falmouth. It's a peculiar type. It's not really a ferry. It's almost like a floating bridge, which is pulled by chains. You drive on, and the chain pulls it across and then pulls it back. Very exciting. There we go, the King Harry ferry, floating bridge. Excitement, excitement, we're driving onto the King Harry ferry, driving onto the King Harry ferry. Yay, whiz on, whiz on, whiz on. Here we go, we're moving, we're moving. Excitement, driver, where are you?
Up and away.
I have to say, we're moving very slowly. We've done it. We've done it. We've managed to cross the mighty River Fal. We've come to Trelisic House, National Trust. George has gone to look around the house. Benny's not allowed in the gardens or the house, so we're going for a woodland walk. Here comes Benny. Beautiful view looking out over the River Fal. I'm on Falmouth side, the other side would be sort of the St Maur's side. Trellizik House has got its own beach. The house itself looks like it's got a lot of scaffolding around. So a lot of work going on. Seems like Benny and I are doing different walks. I'm going on the woodland walk, he's going on the beach. It's a lovely walk around the Fal here. It's beautiful gnarled old trees. Just see a pleasure boat taking people for trips. Now I'm looking down on the King Harry ferry. We've been walking for just over an hour. That was the house, but I'm going to concentrate on the garden. Beautiful wisteria. We've driven down a little road to a point, and it's obviously Millionaires Row because the houses that we've passed are extraordinary. Now paid a visit to Carn Beach, which is the beach you actually can see from the holiday cottage. And we are up over there, somewhere in that woody bit. It's Friday morning, the last full day of our holiday, and we come along to the beautiful fishing village of Port Low. And we've had 2 or 3 fabulous holidays based here in that end cottage. It's another sunny, beautiful day. In fact, we've had sun every day. That's the little cottage where we stayed. If you pan around, you're looking down on the little port. Come on, Ben. I've forgotten how steep these steps were out of Port Low. Oh, puffy, isn't it?
Just a bit.
Strange thing is, Benny remembered the cottage because he wanted to go in the gate.
To avoid the steps.
The last time we were staying here, there were dolphins just in that little bay. Just out of Port Low on the coastal path, and this was an old lookout for who, George? Coast Guards lookout. Looks like Benny's taken up residence.
There's foxes out here. Should be, really.
Look at that, a fox. Just going to have a coffee in the Lugger Hotel, Port Low.
We've come to Portlow, our old haunt, and having a lovely latte at the Mugger Hotel.
The boat is actually pulled up onto dry land with a winch.
Crabs and lobsters.
Crabs and lobsters.
Yeah.
Many today?
It's getting better.
Is it?
Yeah, it's just the water temperature been so cold. The things have been very good. Things go dormant, but when it warms up a bit, they start to move, and it's just starting to happen now. About 6 weeks late.
Is the price good for them now or not?
Price is never good enough.
Yeah, but is it better than it was, say, a couple of years ago, or worse?
The only reason it's better now because there isn't a lot of shellfish around because the water's been so cold. Push the price a little bit.
So we're leaving Portlow now, and we're going to Nair Head to do our last walk. And that's where we had our coffee at the Lugger Hotel. We're now walking down this track to Nair Head. So that's the decoy bunker. I'm down at Nair Head, and our cottage is somewhere in the, if you come along from the houses there, which I think are Pendower, come along to the end of the houses, you have a green field, then another green field, and then some sort of trees and that. Well, our house is in there. I've just got to go and rescue Benny because he's in a very precarious position. He's got a sheer drop below him. Good boy. It's a bit muggy now, it's overcast, but very, very hot. And that's Varian Bay all the way around. I don't know if you can see it in the far distance. That's Port Scatto. That's those three shafts there, which were atomic bunker shafts for ventilation. It's our last night, and we've come into the nearest village, which is Varian, to the new inn. Try something to eat. Cheers.
Oh, yeah.
Georgia's beef stroganoff. Chips. That's it. We've had our last meal. And it's back into the hut. For the last time. This year, anyway.